Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back. Now, if your detailing business feels stuck right now, it's definitely not because of the economy, and it's definitely not because of your competition, and it's not because you lack the skills. It's because you're making the same mistake that keeps thousands of detailers broke every single year. Now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. 1 week you're fully booked, the next week your phone is dead. You're working your ass off, but your bank account is still empty. You're wondering what the heck's going on. You're probably undercharging, probably overworking, and you're probably wondering what the fuck is going on. Now, in this video, I'm going to expose the 7 biggest mistakes that most detailers are making and why most guys are stuck under $5,000 per month and exactly how to fix them. So if you're struggling with bookings, prices, and confidence, or you just feel like you're just stuck and don't know what direction to take, this video is going to hit hard for you. Now stay until the very end because number 7 is probably the most important of them all, and it is what sets apart average people compared to successful people. Alright, now if you don't know who I am, my name is Wilton-Jones. I've built and scaled multiple detailing businesses myself, and now I help others do the exact same, helping them go from zero or below $5,000 per month all the way up to $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. I even work with a client who's doing more than $60,000 every single month. Now this is Mason right here. We helped him go from $5,000 per month. He was stuck there for so long before he joined the academy, and then after 6 months he's now doing over $30,000 a month consistently. Or Noah, who joined the program about 7 months ago, he was doing a couple grand a month. Now he's doing over $12,000 every single month simply because he's installed simple systems. Okay, now if you want to learn more about the academy and how you can join, there's a link below. You can watch a free training and see if you're a good fit. Okay, mistake number 1, and arguably the most common that all detailers make, is just relying on word of mouth and not having a predictable lead flow system to generate leads and then turn them into customers, okay? Now, the reason why most guys do this is because they just don't understand the power of digital marketing or the power of marketing at all, okay? You see, to get a lead in the door or for someone to find out about your business, you actually need to, create awareness in the marketplace, right? Without awareness in the marketplace, people don't just magically find out about your business and then go, oh, I want to use that business, I want to use that service. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. You see, when I first started out, I had this mentality as well. I was like, how about I just start a business, tell a few friends and family, then they'll tell all their friends and family, and then that'll just snowball, and eventually I won't need to do anything because people will just be ringing me non-stop, right? Well, that fell apart real quick because I ended up just sitting on my couch, looking at my phone, waiting for the phone to ring, and ultimately having no calls coming through, which means an empty calendar, okay? Because I wasn't taking action, I wasn't marketing my business, I was just hoping for word of mouth to work for me, tell a few friends, maybe put a post up here and there, and then leads to nothing, right? It leads to absolutely nothing. Crickets. I went through this period where I became really sort of discouraged because I just didn't know what direction to do, and I didn't know what marketing to do. Don't feel bad like if you're in that situation right now, where you're just relying on word of mouth, because, when I first started, I didn't know what marketing to do. I didn't know how to get my name out there. I didn't know if I should post on Instagram or if I should run meta ads or if I should create a website. I just didn't know all these things, okay? And that's where you're at potentially right now, and that's okay, because there is a solution to fix this. The reason why you can't rely on word of mouth is simply because you can't control what people do. And as soon as, you tell someone, it normally goes in one ear and out the other. How often do you hand out a business card, right, and then that person actually gets back to you, right? Yeah, no problem. Hey, give me a call later on. Here's my business card. Do you get a call later on? 9 times out of 10, no. Maybe even 99 times out of 100. Like, they just forget about you. It's not that they don't want to use your business. Like, they probably do. But they've got other things on their mind. They've got priorities. They've got to go make dinner. They've got to go to the supermarket. They've got to look after their kids. They've got other things that are more important than, like, following up with you to book in a car detail, okay? So that's where you have to be proactive and actually follow up with them, which we'll talk about a bit later in another mistake that most detailers do. But basically, the fix for generating consistent leads on autopilot is to have a lot of little platforms working for you, sending your ads or your videos or your brand out there into the public, okay? There are a bunch of different ways, but if I was to choose just a couple that really work for me, right? The main needle movers to generate leads into my business, okay? Number 1 would be Google Business Profile. Number 2 would be Meta ads or Facebook and Instagram ads. Number 3 would be Google ads. And then number 4 would be my website, okay? So those right there. And then what happens is you start to generate a lot of leads and customers into your business. You build up what we call a database of emails and phone numbers and names, okay? Which means you can then go and retarget to those people on your database, okay? So if I've got 1,000 people on my database, and let's just say I book in 10% every time I send out a 3-monthly or 6-monthly promotion, or just a update asking for, whether they want to get their card detailed again soon, maybe I'll book in 10%, right? 10% of 1,000 is 100 bookings, right? You do the math, okay? You don't need to have 50% conversion rates as long as you've got the numbers there. So email, SMS can become really effective as well once you start to build up that database. All right, second mistake that I see detailers make on a regular basis is undercharging what they're worth, right? They're not charging true market value for their services because they're scared they're going to lose customers, or they're not going to get customers if they charge too much. This is most likely just a limiting belief that you have, okay? Maybe your market is a lower income market and you do have to sort of bring your prices down slightly. I still guarantee you're at least 20% below what the market average is. And in my opinion, it is much better to price your services in the upper range of the market, okay? You're going to attract better quality people. But most detailers don't charge enough, okay? And fair enough, you're scared you're going to lose customers, especially in the early days when your calendar is empty and you're trying so hard, so desperately to get new customers. It's like cut off 50% of what you're worth just to get that customer in the door, right? Now, I don't recommend discounting. There is a time and a place for it, especially around promotional seasons. But honestly, you do not want to be the guy known for discounts. Again, this is a premium detailing service, okay? We're not out here to cut prices. We're out here to attract premium quality customers. Now, one thing I always like to say is price generally correlates to value. So if the customer has no other idea about your service other than the fact that you're just another detailer in the industry, and they see that your full detail is $350, but the competitor's price is like $250, that customer's automatically going to assume the detailer that has a $350 detail is better quality, okay? There's a psychology going on behind, what a price means if there's no other sort of background information about that product or service, okay? So always increase your prices. I'm a big fan of it, but also just make sure you are setting your prices at market rate, okay? The easiest way to do this is to look at your 10 competitors in your area, okay? Find out the average. Maybe it's $250. On the upper end, it's $450. Set your price at like $400, okay? There's an easy example. Third thing is you're just offering too many services. Every service under the sun, it actually starts to look unprofessional, okay? The problem with doing this is you're going to confuse your customers, Are you actually a professional, or are you just trying desperately to cover all bases, right? See, with our offer, we just do 1 to 3 core services. We have 2 main core services, and then we sort of customize from there, okay? Now, what I recommend doing is keeping it really streamlined, because if you don't, you actually cause something called decision fatigue, where a customer will look at your services, they don't know which option to choose, they're just going to choose the worst service, or they're not going to choose a service at all, okay? I also don't recommend sending your prices or your services to your customers, right? The goal for us is to decide what actually needs to be done, okay? Now, I'm going to reference like going to a barber shop. When you go to a barber, you don't look at a price sheet or a service list and go, I want that one. In most cases, the barber asks you, hey, what are you looking for today? What would you like done? What sort of number are you thinking around the beard? Do you want to fade here? How much off the top? I can do this much, and it's customized, okay? And this is the exact approach that we need to be taking with our detailing customers, right? Yes, there is a foundation for the services, like 1 to 3 core services, but otherwise it is a very customized service for that customer, okay? Well, at least it's perceived to be customized, okay? Now, that's where you're going to start to really excel in selling your services, as opposed to just handing over a service sheet and being like, choose one. They're just going to choose the worst option. Well, like I said before, they're not going to choose anything at all, okay? So streamline your services and become the detailer that makes a customized approach to selling your services. All right, number 4 is that you are just focusing too much on low value work, right? You're just doing the interior details, you're doing the basic details, and all of your marketing speaks interior detail, disaster detail, basic detail, and you're wondering why you can't get those premium full details, those premium clients, and those high-ticket services like paint correction and ceramic coatings, okay? And it's because all your energy and all your focus is most likely on those services, okay? And I've been there before. I've been the guy that just hustled for basic details, and just trying to get the people in the door, and I would charge peanuts and I'll just be trying to get as many people through as possible, when all that did was really bring me low quality, cheap customers who were looking for a bargain and didn't really appreciate the work that we did. Okay. And I mean, when you're first starting out, it's not a bad thing, but there is a difference between focusing too heavily on those low ticket jobs as opposed to high ticket jobs. Okay. Now, one thing I want you to do is go away and have kind of dissect your business. Okay. Look at the services, which are the most profitable. That's one of the most important things. And then also which are the most popular. Okay. Because if you're offering a full detail, right, and it includes a clay bar and includes an engine bay detail and it's $450, right? But the customer looks at that and they go, well, I don't need an engine bay detail. I don't need a clay bar. So I don't need that service. I just want a $200 service. But if that same full detail didn't include the clay bar or the engine bay detail and it appealed to the customer because it actually catered to the needs that actual customer wanted, then they're going to be like, oh, that service is exactly for me. I'm going to pay $450. Try to structure your services in a way where they cater towards the customers. It's kind of going back on the last mistake, but also you want to be focusing your efforts, your marketing efforts, the messaging you use, how you upsell to the customer to increasing the actual service, right? To offering those higher ticket services. All right, number 5, and this one is so important, and it's simply because like most of our business happens because of this one thing that we do. It's called following up, right? You see, most detailers will get a lead into their business. They'll call them once. The customer will reply, oh, I need to think about it. Or, I'll talk to my wife, or, I'll check my schedule. And then nothing happens, right? They never get back to them because, like I said, people get busy, people forget, people have other things on their mind, right? And the detailer doesn't follow up. That is just going to be empty space on your calendar. You're never going to hear from them again unless you actually follow up with them, okay? And I don't mean you have to nag them like every other day or every other minute. There is a structure to following up with your customers, but it's really simple. It's all about just being polite, genuine, authentic, and actually like curious and interested in that customer. Like you want to help that customer. Like you're providing them a valuable service. You're helping them have an amazing experience with your business. Okay. You're not some sleazy car salesman trying to just like scam every dollar out of them, right? You're actually providing a valuable service for this customer and also an amazing experience. Okay. So follow up with them because number one, you're going to be doing yourself a disservice if you don't follow up with them because you're going to lose out on that customer. Number two, you're going to be doing them a disservice because now they're not going to get a detailed car by you and your professional business because you do a way better job than all your competitors anyway. You're going to give them a better experience than all of your competitors anyway. So you know what? You're doing everyone a disservice by not following up with them and not turning them into a customer. Okay. And it happens all the time because we get lazy or we just don't have a system for tracking our leads and managing our leads and following up with them. Right. Now, I don't know the exact percentage, but I'd say more than 20% of all of our customers, they are booked in through our follow-up stage, okay? So we get leads in the door, all right? Then we tag them, okay? And then we put them into a certain category inside of the pipeline. Did they answer, right? Did they book in? Are they on the fence? They're still thinking about it. Do they want to get it done next month, next year? Okay. We write some notes, right? And then we set up some notifications. Okay. We need to call John back on the 21st of December. He's getting his car back from the auto shop then. He wants us to give him a call back. Boom, make a notification, put it in the calendar. That's how we follow up. Or just simply, they need to talk to their wife. They need to talk to their husband. Okay, John needs to talk to his wife / husband, whatever it is. Okay, we need to call him back in 3 days from now and make sure he's had that conversation and then see how he's going. All it needs to be is some conversation. Hey, John, Aaron from AutoClean here. Just giving you a quick call. We had chat about 3 days ago about getting your Toyota Hilux detailed. Have you put any more thought into it? We've got a day spare next week on Wednesday. Would love to be able to get it on for you. How does that sound? Right? Simple, really simple. Okay. If you do that more times, I guarantee you'll increase the amount of bookings you get. You'll increase your conversion rate with all of the leads. And it is a super powerful strategy. Number 6 on the list is social media. right? You're not posting enough on social media. You're not putting your work out there. You're not putting your content out there. Car detailing is a very visual transformation, right? And you've probably seen online on TikTok, right? Like car detailing videos can get millions of views, right? It's how I got my first start with my social media was I was putting out satisfying ASMR transformational videos, right? And some of these videos popped off because it's a satisfying service to watch. Someone else do an amazing job, turn their pride and joy from dirty to brand new, okay? And another thing it does is it creates authority, right? And it builds trust with your customers, okay? So imagine if you've got a following of, let's say, like a few thousand followers, and all of your recent videos, you know, they're getting some good engagement and they're quite satisfying, and it gives your customers a real inside look into how you do your job and how you do the service. Imagine if a customer's on the fence and you send them a link to your Instagram page and you say, hey, watch my first 3 videos and then click the highlights reel and check out some of my recent testimonials that I have in there, okay? And that is going to build so much trust with them. Or even better yet, you know, you send every single customer to your Instagram page as soon as they've booked in, because what's this going to do? It's going to build more trust with them. It's going to minimize the chance that they don't show up to you, they cancel or reschedule, because now they're getting more excited for the service. So posting regularly on Instagram, Facebook, those are 2 really easy platforms to use. TikTok, you might as well while you're doing it. You know, you can post the same video on all of these short form platforms. So why not, right? So get creating content. We live in an age of content, video content, okay? And if you're not posting video content online, you will get left behind, okay? Because other detailers are. They're posting satisfying videos, okay? So start posting on a regular basis. It doesn't have to be every day. Post once a week to start off with if you want. Just set a schedule, stick to it. So number 7 is most detailers think like a technician as opposed to thinking like a business owner or an entrepreneur, okay? And if you are stuck thinking like a technician, I've got to get this job done. I've got to work on the tools. I've got to be in the business. I've got to do this. I've got to micromanage everything. It's going to be very hard for you to scale this business, okay? Because when you're head down, ass up, you can't see the broader picture. You can't look at the numbers. You can't build relationships with your customers. You can't focus on the sales and the marketing, okay? So thinking like a technician will keep you in the business, working in the business. Thinking like an entrepreneur will enable you to scale out of the business and help the business grow, okay? 80% of this game is psychological, which means that the most important thing that you need to do is just take action and just get the work done, right? Perfection comes after you start. Don't worry about perfecting every little detail. Take action. Think like an entrepreneur. Don't get stuck inside the business. I guarantee you're going to succeed. You're going to excel. You're going to create an unbelievably insane car detailing business and potentially other businesses in the future, okay? Because you're stepping into the world, or you've been in the world of entrepreneurship, and we're wired differently. We like to think outside the box. We like to do things differently. We don't want to be told what to do. I don't want to do this. I want to dictate my own shit. I want to do my own shit. I want to be able to earn my own money. I want to be able to take time off when I want to take time off. I don't want to be controlled or pushed down by some external force. I am myself, and I want to live to my fullest and be my fullest. And I know you want to do that too, and you definitely can. So, hope you like this video. Like I said, there's a training below. If you want to potentially join the Auto Clean Academy, potentially work with me, there's a free training below. Go and check that out. See if you enjoy it. And there's a form that you can fill out. See if you're a good fit, and look forward to it. Awesome. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. See you in the next video.